Yeah.
Right. Hello, everybody. Oh, we need
You need the
I need
mic.
the doodad. Okie dokie. All right. We are tip of the tongue when you can't quite remember the song in your head.
So we took a different approach to music, as Justin and Jack and James, triple J's. So instead of entering in an artist name, we chose a different approach to enter in the song name instead.
So our team is Chris Crawford. He was responsible for back-end coding, Firebase, and the API for Music Match. I'm Booth Kittson. I was responsible for the API for Spotify and the presentation styling. And last but not least is Josh Carroll. And he was responsible for the front end, the design, back end coding, code integration, and the project management. Okay, what does it do? We wanted a way to find that elusive song that keeps running through your head with this tiny little bit of lyric, and you can't quite remember. And we just wanted to be able to use a little snip of a lyric and input that and find out what the song was or songs. It was important to provide a clean, intuitive interface without a lot of a clutter. So we wanted clean, no busyness, just boom, there you are. And we wanted to make it easy for the user to search in a couple of ways. And we wanted to be able to find other track information about the artist that it may return. And we wanted to remember a few things about the user. So we use two main APIs, the Music Match and Spotify. We use CSS Framework of Bootstrap 3. We use jQuery UI, jQuery JavaScript, and we use Firebase for our users and user data. And here's the screenshot. This is our desktop, a phone, and an iPad version. And we'll just go into a brief overview of the code, and then we'll give you a demo later on. So Chris, you're first.
Okay, so we started the project with a really simple design, as you just saw up on the slideshow. So the first thing we needed to do, or we started doing, was we need to make an AJAX call to the using the AJAX or using the Music's Match API. So we actually started with this right here, and it was in a JSON-P format. So major props to Josh for helping us out with that, getting that figured out. Because as soon as we figured that out, we could start doing a whole bunch of stuff here. So that's the first AJAX call. It gets the what it actually does is it gets genres first. So if you're like, okay, there's this one song that says this one thing, but I can't really remember the song, it'll output a bunch of different genres. So that's what this does. And then there's a second AJAX call.
So the second AJAX call, the first AJAX call, Music Match just gives you sort of artist information and song information, but we wanted to actually get the lyrics. So we had to do a second AJAX call on the Music Match track ID to get the lyrics out, and then we put that into the page. So that's what we do down here. And so basically, as he said, it's like it's shoving everything into genres. So it creates all these genre buttons and then fills with each track that fits the criteria you put in. It either creates a new button if that genre doesn't exist, or it puts it into the one that already exists. So it sorts it by genre. You want to talk about Firebase stuff?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so in the Firebase implementation, I decided to go ahead and try out users and authentication. So as you see here, there's the initial. There's actually an interesting thing you have to do. I'm going to show you in the HTML, and you initialize it. I don't know if you guys had to do this as well, but so you have to do this right here. You have to initialize Firebase with this if you're going to do some authentication things. So there's a sign up and login, or a sign up and sign in functions here, and there's also This listens for anything that's changed, and it stores it to the database. And then this will store the user searches. So yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. So let's, I guess we'll demo it. Okay, so Josh, if you want to log in. I didn't really have time to design the login portion of it, but I made the rest of it disappear. So, which is what I wanted to do.
Time is a factor.
So since he already has a user created, he's able to sign in. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to sign up. So
Let's have a song.
who wants to give us a lyric? Let's try this one then.
Someone plays a solo on a saxophone.
This is a song I really like. So you see it outputs genres that fit that.
And there were in the object, there were sometimes an object that didn't have a genre. So in the JSON-P call. So that's where we created the miscellaneous buttons, which was really ingenious and clutch by Josh.
So you can see that it spit out the lyrics here. We got the Spotify embed, and using the code that Booth wrote, we also get the top tracks from that artist. So you can put here on the side. One thing we also wanted to do was instead of having to scroll back up to the top. That's fine. Instead of having to scroll back to the top to do like another search or to change genres, we dynamically add this search bar and this genre change. So we can search for something else.
And this is also if you pulled down one of the genre buttons and said,
So you can see
this ain't my artist. We want to go look at a different genre.
it scrolls back, and you can go to hip hop, and then you can say, that wasn't the genre I really wanted. I want to say rock instead. And it gives you the ones that fit in that genre. So you can just change it right there instead of having to scroll all around on the page. The other thing, and this is like the slightly thing that we need to work on a little bit, is this recent searches pulls from the Firebase like user data, and it doesn't, when you first log in, it doesn't populate it. So we need to figure out why it's not doing that. But you can see these are the things that I search specifically. So if Booth were to sign in for her, Chris were to sign in for his, there would be only their searches. So that's what we use the Firebase user authentication for.
Just to demo that.
You'll need to refresh the page.
So
No, these are mine. So if you refresh the page, it should give you yours, hopefully.
There it goes. Yep.
Yeah. So you can see these are the ones that Chris recently searched, and again, he had to refresh, which we got to figure that out. But those are specific to his user. So well, that's cool. So we can use that to gather more information for, now that we have the users and we can put specific data from that user in there, we can do lots of stuff, right? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to go back to the,
We can go to the future.
or we can ask for questions? Like we're kind of.
we're almost
Do we have any
So
questions?
Anyone?
Does it play just the 30-second clip that Spotify?
This one does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
we
you-
we
so if you
had similar
download-
thoughts, but
if you download the desktop client, it'll play the full song.
yeah.
So you guys use the SMP format?
Yeah. Not for Spotify, but for all the music's match, because yeah, we got cores errors. Yeah, JSMP worked, yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.